Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me for another episode of Thoughts of a King with your boy, John Freeman, aka The King. Today, we are talking about one of my favorite genres of movies. That's right, people. Horror movies. And since we are in the spirit of Halloween season, I feel like we should be able to talk about this. Now, today, we're going to be talking about my top 5 favorite horror movies. I like to make one thing clear. I don't watch horror movies just in these 31-day span. I watch horror movies throughout the entire year. It doesn't matter if it's a classic, modern, a brand new one, underground. It doesn't matter. The only ones I really don't watch is what they call the torture porn ones. I hate those. Saw 1 and 2, your exception, Hostel. But other than that, I love horror movies around the entire, scope of it. You get the scares, the suspense, you get like the, either sci-fi, elements, or you get the crazy, monsters. You just, no matter how many times you put them down, they just keep getting back up. I love that. And somewhere deep down inside of me, I love being scared. I don't know why, but sometimes I do. There was a time where I wasn't into horror movies, like, at all. You can take me to a horror movie in the theaters, I probably wouldn't watch it. If it comes on TV, I'm changing it. But now I've changed over so much. For all my friends and family who are watching this, they all know I love horror movies. I have horror movie marathons throughout the year. I don't know why, I just do. And it's fun. So today we're going to talk about my top 5. I thought about doing a top 10, but top 10s are overrated nowadays. So I'm just going to do a top 5. And we're going to go over the reasons why I like them and, why they're my favorites. Everyone's pretty much going to know what my number 1 is, but we'll get to that one. We have to get through the first 4. But other than that, enjoy the show, grab some snacks, and let's get into it. So these are not in chronological order, but I'm going to start with The Thing. Oh my God, how did I not watch this movie sooner? I discovered the movie The Thing, about, I want to say 3 years ago. I know I was kind of like behind, but I was trying to step up my horror movie catalog. And for some oddball and strange reason, I missed this one. But man, I'm so glad I actually got into it. This is one of those movies that was made like way back then, and it was absolutely 100% amazing. I think the special effects that were used for this movie at the time was amazing. Tell me where you ever seen a scene back in the day where a body lost its head, but then the head, went off the table and sprouted spider legs and just ran off to start terrorizing people. Where the special effects for that movie was amazing. I don't think there's anything bad I can really say about the movie. The acting was great. The action was great. The special effects, again, blew my mind, especially for that time period and what they had to work with. That was great. And then the cliffhanger at the end of the movie had you thinking like, okay, this alien being escaped, has been assimilating, people and animals. And now there's just 2, spoiler alert, 2 survivors. And they're sitting there looking at each other like, are you the thing or are you the thing? It left you on that cliffhanger because they're left in the middle of nowhere in the Arctic. I believe it's in the Arctic. If I'm wrong, correct me, but I believe it's in the Arctic. And their facility has exploded. There's no place for them to go for refuge. There's no food. There's no rescue coming their way. They're sitting there going to freeze to death, and they don't know whether they are human anymore or they are the thing that has been, assimilating and killing everybody. It's one of those kind of like scary movies where it keeps you on your toes. It's kind of like a suspense thriller, but all in all, I think it was an amazing movie. Definitely a watch over and over again. And for the squeamish, yeah. You may or may not like it, but you can't deny that it's one of the most influential horror movies of all time. Another one of my favorite horror movies, we're going to talk about Friday the 13th, the original. Now, I believe there is 11 different Friday the 13th movies, and the one that's my favorite is the one that does not have the iconic Jason Voorhees in it. It has his mom. His mom is the killer at Camp Crystal Lake for the first time. It that blew my mind when I first watched this movie a long time ago. I was just like, oh my God, I've seen Jason Voorhees and I know Jason Voorhees as attached to Friday the 13th. And when I first watched the first Friday the 13th, I was like, oh man, Jason Voorhees coming out of nowhere. But it's one thing I love about this movie is it does not reveal who the killer is. It just shows you, the killer's POV, point of view, walking up to the victim, and then all of a sudden the victim dies. What? You're sitting here thinking, okay, is it like some kind of, animal or beast are doing it? No, it was literally Jason Voorhees' mom, Pamela Voorhees. That's right, I know her name because it's so iconic. Pamela Voorhees is the killer in the first movie. It was revolutionary, and the reason why she is killing these people is because the counselors before these counselors, were not watching her child. Child has drowned and died, and she is one pissed off mama. All you moms out there can probably attest, if something would happen to your child, you go on a killer rampage too. I don't condone it. Don't do it. Please don't. But you get what I mean. But it's honestly one of those revolutionary movies that, set the tone for the Friday the 13th movies. Some of them are good, some of them not that much, but the first Friday the 13th is my favorite movie. And then I would say Friday the 13th, the final chapter, even though it wasn't the final chapter. The final chapter was my second favorite movie. But yeah, the original Friday the 13th, groundbreaking movie, amazing. Now, I've talked about, the the old guard for horror movies. Let's talk about a modern one that I really enjoyed and I love and I still watch to this day, no matter when it comes on and how many times I've seen it. The Conjuring. That's right, the original Conjuring that kicked off and set up this whole Conjuring universe that has Annabelle, the Nun, Lisa Rosa, I believe it is. I think I mispronounced it wrong. My apologies. But the original Conjuring movie, amazing. It basically took the template from other horror movies and combined it for I want to say, you know what, it's going to be original. It's for an original story told, about possession and trying to expel, say, demon. I like this movie because one, I'm going to say it was well put together. The acting was great. It kept me on my toes the entire time from the beginning of the movie to the end. Not a lot of gore, some blood here and there, but nothing too crazy. Suspense scares, like when she was sitting in the dark and she lit that match and she was trying to figure out what was going on, and when those two hands came out of nowhere and clapped by her head, how could you not jump for that? That jump scare alone, it kept me hooked forever on that movie. And it followed up with Conjuring 2. Conjuring 2 was good, but it's still not going to be as good as the original Conjuring. I can watch that movie over and over again. I honestly can't wait for the third installment to come out. I'm thoroughly looking forward to that one. But the first Conjuring was great. I do feel bad though for that girl who got flung around the living room. Like, yeah, it must have sucked, but man, did that make some good movie watching. I'll tell you that much. So let's talk about The Shining. The Shining is another one of my favorite ones. I like this movie. It was a Stephen King adaptation, and I think it just kind of blew my mind with the script, the acting, cinematography, the hotel. The hotel. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Would anybody want to get paid to be stuck in a hotel with just you and your wife and your kid for months on end? You'll go stir crazy. And the premise was that's what this family did. Jack Nicholson's character, he took a job to overlook the Overlook Hotel, and slowly he already came into the hotel already having issues. He was abusive to his wife, he was abusive to his kid, but once he got into the hotel, and things started slowly messing with him. They got cranked all the way up to 100, and slowly but surely he starts losing his mind. We all know what red rum means. We all know it means murder. If you didn't know what that means, it's murder. And he just, he gets to his breaking point. He just snaps, tries to kill his wife, try to kill his kid. He kills the only black guy in the movie. We really got to stop. Actually, you know what? Let me stop. Black people have been surviving more in horror movies. Thank you, Hollywood, from hearing all the collective black people saying, stop killing us off in the first 15 seconds of a movie. There's your plug. But it was, originally he was supposed to survive in the book, but they kind of veered away from the source material. He died by getting an axe in the gut. Kind of sucks. I learned that after I saw the movie. I went and read the book. I was like, I wish I would have kept that in there. He would have survived. But he was come up there to try to save little man's and his mom. But unfortunately, he died. But The Shining was great. The last death was Jack Nicholson's character, frozen to death. And one of the most scary parts of all, there was a picture that, the mom and the son, they get into the little, I want to say it's like a snow cap. I think it is like that. It's like a little snowmobile that fits, a lot of people. But they got on that and they were leaving. Jack Nicholson's dead. But then they go back into the hotel, Stanley Hotel. Thank you. Whew, almost missed that. Stanley Hotel. And then they start going through pictures. And they show Jack in the picture. But the picture was from like early 1960s. Impossible. So you got to wonder what happened there. Like, that was like, ooh, that got me. But again, Shining, great movie. And last, but certainly not least, the king of all horror movies for me, the original 1978 Halloween, directed by John Carpenter, and the lead, Jamie Lee Curtis. I've seen this movie thousands of times, and no matter what, it will never get old. This movie was incredible. It took the premise of, a man who, let's start with a boy who killed his sister at such a young age. You get the POV of him walking through the house. For everyone who's seen this movie, you get the POV. He's walking through the house. He watched his sister get busy with a dude. He waits till they're done. He comes inside, grabs a butcher's knife, grabs a mask, walks in on his sister who's naked doing her hair, stabs her up. Then he walks out the house. His parents pull up and they go, Michael took his mask off, and bam, you get the reveal it's a little kid. I believe he was 6. This 6-year-old kid just killed his sister. Then he gets sent to a mental institution for years. And then we have got Loomis, and you have him trying to get through to him, couldn't get through to him, knew exactly what Michael Myers was. He understood the evil that was in this person, and then tried to keep him locked up for years so he can never escape. Then to go and get him for a transfer, my man's escapes, gets a car, and he dips, goes back to Haddonfield to go on a killing spree again. Jamie Lee Curtis comes in, drops a key off at the house. He's like, bam, focus on her. I'm gonna get her. Starts stalking her the entire movie. And let's not forget, the music that was used for this movie, incredible. Like, we all know, the theme for Halloween, and the suspenseful music just keeps you on your toes. Even when he kills people, like, don't get me wrong, like there was, I believe he killed, I want to say he killed about at least 5, 6 people originally in the movie. And it was just so well put together. Michael Myers, there's no explanation for why he can take so much punishment and just keep on coming. He's strong. He's fast for a guy who walks quickly. That's why I'm afraid of dudes who walk slow. If you walking slow, and I run it and I see you If I'm running and you're walking, there's something wrong. I'm just gonna stop and just let you do what you gotta do. Because I've seen from watching Michael Myers and watching Jason Voorhees, no matter how fast you run, no matter where you go, they'll catch you. But Michael Myers set that template for every other slasher movie to come out. He set the template for Friday the 13th. He set it for movies, like Scream way down the line. Freddy Krueger. He is the original boogeyman of the slasher genre, and everyone knew this was gonna be my number one. When I watch Halloween marathons throughout the year. When October comes around, Halloween's the first movie I'm watching. It's probably the last movie I watch for the end of the month. I don't care, but man, Halloween is a great movie. I'm sure everyone by now has seen this movie. If you have not, please, for the love of God, look in my eyes. Go watch that movie. Please, go watch that movie. But Halloween, my number one. Nothing else can beat it. Nothing. I just want to say thank you again for watching my favorite horror movie top 5. I didn't count them again. I just went in chronological order, but there's 5. I hope you enjoyed watching and my reasons for why. Now you're probably watching this and saying, "Man, John really likes horror movies." I'm hoping that's what you all know or think. But man, do I love horror movies. I think horror movies are by far sometimes the best storytelling and well put together movies out there. Definitely slept on. A lot of people get scared of them. I'm not one of those people. Like, I can watch a horror movie and go to bed like right after and I'll be fine. Yeah, other people who can't, sleep by themselves after watching one. It sucks. I know. But again, I digress. But enjoy horror movies. Support horror movies. I'm just saying, horror movies are great. Especially for if you're not into horror movies like I am throughout the year, at least for 31 days. You have AMC, you got, I believe, TBS, stuff like that. They're playing like the family friendly ones like Hocus Pocus and Casper and all those. But check out some horror movies. They are great. But again, this is John Freeman, aka The King. This is Thoughts of a King. Thank you for watching, and remember, like, subscribe, also hit that notification bell so every time I upload a new video, you'll get the notification. I'll see you next time. Peace.